Okay, what is going on, everybody? This is TGA. We're in Newport City Centre again today. Coming up to Barclays Bank. So the protest supposed to be happening today. So they say. Let's bring up the flyer. There we are. 11 till 1. Here's Barclays Bank. Oh, here we are. Small one today. Oh, so only a little virtual getting set up today. Actually, Stonebank on apartheid, so they've stopped. I think I did an update on this in a previous video where they said they've Barclays has no longer got any links with Elbit, so but they're still here protesting anyway.
Hello. Elbit's not the only company that Barclays invests in that is complicit in Israeli genocide.
BAE as well, isn't it? BAE Systems.
There's quite a few.
Yep. Have you got a list now, or?
I don't have one on me, but I'm sure somebody might be able to help me.
Right now, we've got a list of the arms companies that invest in Israel.
We don't have any background material apart from what we have in our flyers. We want to have a list of all companies supplying weapons from the UK to Israel.
All the ones that Barclays invested
This
in.
would be enormous.
I only would know Elbit and General Dynamics.
BAE
That's BAE. If you QR code this, I suspect
Get it
there will
on
be
the
more
on the
information.
camera. Thank you.
I think there's a lot of focus on Elbit because the Elbit is quite relevant from the UK.
Well, Elbit's they've stopped the investments with Elbit, haven't they?
I think that is contended.
They started again.
You know, there are different sources you can look at. It looks like they reinvested as well. Even if they did sell the shares, these amounted to 3 million compared to more than $1 billion they have invested in the Israeli arms trade and manufacturing. That's, you know, that would be 3 per mil, 0.3%. So it wouldn't really be substantial. It would have been a step in the right direction. But it looks like from what we can research that has been reversing.
Right. With companies with the companies that are remaining that Barclays are still investing in, so like BAE or General Dynamics, we've got BAE in Gwent just up the road near us. You've got BAE Systems Glascoid.
Yes.
You ever thought of actually trying to encourage them to stop?
You want us to blockade them or what is this?
Hi, you alright?
Yeah, very well.
Nice to see you.
And you? Pleasure.
I'm sure this isn't that interesting, Phil, then.
Well, I haven't really covered Barclays Vigil in Newport, and especially since now that Elbit's, they've sort of divested from Elbit now, it's quite...
They've reinvested.
They've reinvested since...
Yeah.
Since when, though?
The filings in the last week.
Was it?
Yeah.
Oh, well.
Yeah.
I'm surprised. I thought it had made a difference for it.
Did you get your light back? They weren't very nice to you at the thing.
I managed, the police actually managed to get that for me. I appreciate that though, yeah. Because it was right down near the M4, that one was.
Yeah.
Right. That's better.
But no, wasn't there a blockade though of BAE up in Glascoid about, what was that about? Was it last year?
There's been ones happening there quite a few times, yeah.
I was gonna say I might have to go up because I did a video at BAE Systems in Glascoid, and they tried to tell me I was committing an offence under the National Security Act.
Yeah, because some places you can't film them, but yeah.
But
there's restrictions in terms of, yeah.
But from my interpretation of it, you still can. So, and because it's only if it depends what your purpose is. If your purpose is prejudicial to the safety or interest of the United Kingdom. But
it's fairly broad.
Yeah, it is.
It's very,
Well, I'm glad you're so optimistic that the judicial system in this country is still working independently. If you take chances on that, I would say good luck.
Oh, I know. Well, it is a bit of a difficult one to mess with this new piece of
What's written in
legislation.
law is one thing, you know, who's wielding the power, it's a different story.
Well, there's actually been people from Palestine groups who have been arrested under the new
Yes, and those
legislation.
from Palestine actually are languishing in jail right now. That's the reality. And I have to tell you, I foresaw that coming. You cannot go to the court system here and say, my cause is humane, for that reason I want to have leniency. It won't work, right? So don't be naive. What we are doing is just at the border of legality. If you go to Germany, it would be even illegal. You could get arrested for this.
Oh, I've seen what's happening in Germany with
that's the trend
police
here in
stuff,
Europe.
yeah.
And if we don't continue with this activity, it will come here as well. We're a little bit protected by the Welsh government, because the Welsh government recently has made a clear statement that they don't want to ban 3 years.
No.
So that's good. Probably one of the best things about the Welsh government.
Yeah. Well, as long as the government for now is protecting the rights of protesters, the right to peaceful protest, then that's, that'd be a bit of a great loss to democracy if we lost the right to peaceful protest. Really,
We have to get some.
How much democracy
Yeah, there should be some.
not a lot.
There is a carrier.
Who's reading the power board over the mass media? We have no sway about that.
That's why there's people. That's why there's got to be people like myself.
What are you doing?
Independent media, I am. So
Where are you going to publish this?
YouTube.
BBC is not going to accept that.
no, that's why I post stuff on YouTube.
Not
See,
even
so.
the Argus, you know, this only will be alternative media.
I've had photos in the Argus before of
What's
mine.
your website where you can run?
It's the Gwent Auditor, TGA.
What's that?
TGA, the Gwent Auditor.
TGA, the auditor.
The Gwent Auditor.
The Gwent auditor. TGA, the Gwent auditor. We should look that up, okay?
Yeah, no, I appreciate
thanks
that.
if you're doing something favorable and
Well, yeah, it's
of course it's a good thing, yeah.
it's unbiased and it's not this mainstream bankrolled media. Like that's the thing. It's
No, I mean,
it's
they're talking a lot of rubbish,
undoctored,
but BBC is you know, on the mind of people every hour of the day, so that's a bit of a problem, you know. As Goebbels said, if you repeat a lie often enough, then it just sinks in. People it's no longer a question. That's the problem. And what we are doing here, you know, is this tiny fight back compared to the input the mass media you know, can provide with unlimited funds.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
No, that's good.
Yeah. So the answer is more people need to rise up.
No, absolutely. Well,
Okay.
I don't disagree with you there. Because obviously, if you don't use your rights, you lose them, as I say.
Exactly. That's another way of phrasing it. All right. Yeah. Tomorrow we couldn't do this. Tomorrow is strong wind on the way.
Rain.
Especially. Yeah, wind has picked up a bit today, hasn't it? Yeah, weather's supposed to be awful tomorrow. So.
At least 10% of the population of Gaza is likely to have perished under the Israeli onslaught, relentless bombing of areas which previously had been declared safe, food starvation, deprivation of clean water, lack of hospital care, amputations carried out without anesthesia, hospital patients being bombed while they're lying in their beds.
Barclays,
That's the reality in Gaza. On the result of the Israeli aggression, Barclays is benefiting from this warfare. Barclays is holding more than £1 billion of investment in underwriting. The company which was supporting and supplying Israel.
Apparently they've reinvested in Albert again. Apparently they're on the list again in the last week. So Barclays, which I didn't know. Yeah, there's this Newport Commercial Street Barclays Bank, Barclays branch here.
Mate, move the camera off.
What?
There's people in there, they haven't given you any right to record them.
Oh, I'm in a public space, mate.
I don't care, you're recording me.
You are allowed. You are allowed. Get the police. You don't right.
I've even got my baby there and I don't want my
I'm
baby.
not filming your baby. I was filming next to
You
the
just seen I
sign.
walk past you, you had your camera on us.
Yeah, there. Yeah.
Just don't give no problem, mate. It's fine. Just
I'm
don't.
not trying to give a problem, mate. I'm filming in a public space.
This is private property. You can't just do that. Okay?
You can film from public, mate.
I'm telling you, mate. I'm telling you.
Article
You're
10 of the
wrong.
Human
I'm
Rights.
security, I know
Well,
my job.
you're the one who's wrong, mate. You're clearly.
You're not allowed to.
I am allowed to film in a public space.
This ain't a public space.
That's not a public space. I'm stood in a
That's
public
what you're
space.
filming inside here. That's not a public
God,
space. That's the
There's people
public space.
protesting against you here.
Yeah.
You're not doing yourselves any
Out there.
favours, are you, to be
Out there.
honest?
Out there is public space, not in here, mate.
And you're trying to step all over my rights. I'm in a public
It's private
space.
property. You can't be.
So, no, I can, mate. I'm in a public space. Yeah, there's the police now, look. Here's the police. Here's the police, mate. So, what? You want to tell them? Oh, go on.
You're not allowed to, mate. You just check the law yourself.
I know the law myself. You need to Google the law, mate. I can film anything from a public
You can do
space.
it there, in that area, but not this way.
I can do it this way. Well, you've come out to me.
That, mate.
I can film anything from a public space, my friend. So, oh, sorry, Liv.
Nope. You can do it anyway.
So, Barclays trying to step all over my rights now. So, you got these guys as well, the ambassadors. So you got BBC Children in Need raising money. So that's one good thing, they're being charitable. Barclays, being charitable there. Barclays in Newport saying not allowed, not allowed. In Welsh there. So I'm even filming his child, what? Manage your spending, make your money go further. To avoid fraud and scams. Make the most of that. Already Barclays. Oh my God. Not doing themselves any favours.
What was I saying?
Trying to tell me I'm not allowed to film in a public space. Crazy. They are. They're already under scrutiny, and yet they're not making them things any better for themselves. Investment,
isn't it?
especially with investments in major Israeli defence companies, you know. So it doesn't really look good, does it?
It doesn't, but not many people know, and probably even less can. But they need to know before they can be expected to. It never ceases to amaze me the number of people who take a quick look, go turn the other way. You know?
Our country should really, considering the stance we seem to hold more in favour of Israel, couldn't we take more of an impartial stance between Israel and Palestine? But we don't seem to. That's the thing.
How can you have an impartial stance about ethnic cleansing,
our country's
genocide,
supporting it. That's the difference. It's better
forced
to.
displacement of people, an apartheid system of government.
But rather than our country supporting the Israeli government over the Palestinian
We always
authority.
have. I mean, you only have to go back to 1917 with the Balfour Declaration, which I think was based on two things: anti-Semitism, because the political elite in this country wanted to ship British Jews out to Palestine, and secondly, to have a European settler colony in the Middle East to help protect Britain's interests in the Middle East.
Well, it comes down to money a lot of the time at the end of the day, doesn't it, really?
Money, power.
You're not a big fan of the Cardiff and Bristol cruise?
No, not particularly. They don't tend to. They don't show me as much. They're not as welcoming of me being an independent cameraman. As much. So it's. I don't understand why they have such a hostile approach to me, but.
I think they think you're right wing. But
No.
you're entitled to do photos. The only thing is sometimes people will say, when we have stuff, we always say, do you want your photo on social media and things like that. So I think that's
They don't really understand it. No, like the Barclays security don't understand it either.
No, they do get worked up.
No, a lot of people don't seem to understand the rights of public photography in this country.
How many do? Yeah.
That's why.
They won't have had any training in 3 continents.
Oh no. That's why I stand up for it. Keep helping people to learn that we've got the right to come out and film just as much as anyone's got the right to come out and protest. Although that's being chipped away as much as it is, but you know, it's an important right that we can't lose, really.
I agree.
Oh, brilliant! Because it comes under the same bracket.
Yeah.
You know. Obviously, you got the cause for Palestine is important. A lot of people are dying, which is importantly maintain the ability to exercise your rights to do so, really. And you don't lose that right to peaceful protest.
Yeah.
And I agree with that. I stand for that as well. So,
yeah. Think of the reform protest. Hi, madam. Can I give you a leaflet on Palestine? Thank you.
I didn't like their behaviour.
Oh, whose behaviour?
The protest at the Reform Party conference.
Oh, right.
Well, my torch getting kicked across the place. And
oh, that bit. I thought. Oh, yeah. They do. Yeah.
But
they can sometimes saying and those from car can be a bit like, yeah. I said it's fine, but obviously at the same time people come on the protest and they're suddenly getting filmed. You know, and you know, people get, you know, there's a lot of been a long-term pressure on Palestine activists, and people, they've tried to silence Palestine activity by there used to be this website of student activists.
Yeah.
They used to publicise and make up all this stuff. They said it was anti-Semitic and this and that, and these comments all out of context. And the idea was to suppress Palestine solidarity activism in universities. So I think it's for that reason people are a bit little, you know.
Yeah, but it's getting the voice out there with the cameras, though, isn't it? So
yeah, but not everybody wants to. Some people want to just be at a protest and not be filmed. That's the issue. So, but you know, if you're filming it, they can. It's up to them. I mean, they can stand aside or wear a face mask. You know. Yeah, exactly. We always have face masks at our protests and say if people don't want to be.
Yeah, creating your own privacy. That's
yeah.
I mentioned that before, but
yeah. Perhaps you should get some face masks for them for next time.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, with Free Palestine on and, and Black Lives Matter.
Yeah. No, I have seen some of the people who sort of obviously have a biased opinion. Taking videos and saying all stuff about anti-Semitism and blah blah blah. But no, I just come out and film what I see. I don't really take that sort of stance at all. If anything, I think the killing's bad and should stop, really. So, you know,
well, 70% are women and children, and
Well, yeah, that's the argument. You can't really say that people who are women and children are involved with, even if Hamas are terrorists, then you can't exactly put women and children in that bracket, can you? 100%. No.
Thank you.
2006. So most of the children, even the teenagers who've been killed, didn't have the right to vote then because they weren't born or were too young to vote.
That's when they.
Are you going to the protest on Saturday?
All the one in Swansea.
Oh, right, yeah.
Well, the weather's not looking too good on Saturday.
No,
that's the thing.
No, I am scheduled to go, but the weather's putting me off a bit. Yeah.
If it's going to be torrential rain and
heavy wind,
yes. Safety's the most important, really. Your own safety, rather than if you're travelling down there, you could have an accident on the way down. So.
Thank you. Take care.
So what they do, remember when we did the Palestine?
I've seen the police are driven by a couple of times now. By Barclays. There we go. You get some an angle from here. The Barclays in the background. I'm sorry, mate. So there's people getting cash out there, so put it away from there. All the customers don't even choose to bank with whoever you want, innit? I think the considering whether Elbit, I need to find out on that, whether Elbit is still being invested in by Barclays. That's something I need to do some research on, because it did stop for a bit. In terms of companies like BAE, if the cause goes, if they're still supplying arms, then they should protest it. BAE Systems, General Dynamics companies are quite close by, Merthyr and Monmouthshire. Which are supplying arms to Israel. So the cause is very much opposed to that happening. So it needs to take the action to places like General Dynamics or BAE as well. So that's in that argument, to be honest. See, they don't like it at the minute. The Barclays security guard's still there. Just gonna have a wander around, see if he's been educated by his manager now. Digital banking support.
Thought we just had this conversation.
Yeah, and I've told you, mate, I'm in a public space. I am allowed to record. Yes, I am allowed.
Recording is pointless.
I don't care, mate. You're the one who's uneducated on the law.
Anyway, I finished talking. You're not allowed to do anything inside a private property. So go.
Where's your blue SIA badge anyway?
Go and check for yourself. Find out.
Oh, I know for myself. I've done enough of it, mate, to film in a public space.
Can we just confirm the public space is up to here, is it? Yeah.
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 And he's trying to tell me that I can't film from here. It's ridiculous. He doesn't have a clue about the law. So there we go. Setting up Barclays app, taking out new products, transferring money, managing standing orders and direct debits, paying bills, ordering cards, instant PIN view or downloading statements. So I'm in a public space, and this guy's, yeah, he's got his blue badge on now at least. He can say what he likes. A man in a public street with a camera, and a few of the management there now. He's got his essay on that.
And one more thing, I do not want you to be video recording me. I've not given you the right, so you have no right.
I've got every right.
No,
I've got every right.
No
Human rights.
You've got no
Article
right.
10.
If we go to court right now, I can sue you for doing that.
Yeah, good luck with that. You'd be the one out of pocket and losing, mate. That's where you'd be. Absolute fool. This guy's a muppet. There's security in there. Hey, mate, calm down. What are you doing?
Can you do that?
I can, yes. I'm in a public
my
space.
permission, yeah?
Yeah, absolutely can, yeah.
Oh, thank you very much.
Sorry.
Get off. What are you doing? Insulting me like that? Who do you think you are?
Sticking a camera in my face.
You're the one who came out to me, mate. What's your issues?
Must be nice.
Alright, I'm gonna be sorry, excuse me.
Go on.
I'm gonna be honest with you right now, and I'm gonna tell you facts. You're causing a disturbance, okay?
Okay,
inside the bank. If you do not remove yourself from this area right now, I'm going to inform the police.
Okay, crack on.
I'm going to call the police and ask them to escort you from site. So do yourself a favor. Go back over there where you was.
What side?
Go back over to the area you was. And please remove yourself from this area. You're causing a disturbance.
Is this Barclays property?
You are causing a disturbance.
Is this Barclays property?
I'm not saying any more.
No,
to
it's
you.
not Barclays
I've just asked
property.
you to please
I don't
go
have
back
to
over
remove
that area.
myself from a public space. Get the police there. Idiot.
You can't stop people doing business, man.
TGA. Ah, that's me. Yeah, man. Do you watch my videos, yeah? No, it's for big respect, man. Big respect. So, Barclays security. Bloody hell. Clueless, man.
You okay? You okay?
Yeah, all good, man. Some guy just come out and assaulted me.
I
You see the TGA, yeah?
Yeah.
Nice respect,
Very
man.
nice. Looking man.
Yeah, I tried to be, man, you know. So, big respect, man, appreciate that. Thanks for watching, yeah? So there's security, still there. Still there, he is. Still there, trying to tell me I can't record. Off we go then. Clown. Absolute clown. Absolute muppet. Absolute muppet. I'm not getting any customers putting any details in or nothing. I'm just filming from public space. And he's saying I can't do it. How you doing, man?
I'm alright, man, I'm alright. Can I just say, you're doing the right thing, but you're going the fucking wrong way about it.
Well, filming in public, isn't it?
There's two, everyone I see, most people who have got a fight and they're fighting about the right thing, they're not doing it the right way. I can see the camera there. So you can hold that one down all you like. You're covered in the fucking piece. You've more cameras on you than they got in there. No, honestly, I absolutely stand with you. Fuck Israel, free Palestine. Do you know what's going on? It's disgusting. Inshallah, we see the day that Palestine will be free. Do you know what I mean? But this ain't the right way to do it.
Alright.
This ain't the right way to do it.
And you, jog on, mate. Go on.
This ain't the right way to do it. There's better ways to raise a message. There's better platforms to do it. I just said to that bloke and nearly had a stroke. Yeah. I said the reason that you guys are attacking here is because you can't attack them at the top. You've got nowhere to attack them. You're trying to find a platform.
Actually, I'm independent. I was
these guys. You're just here trying to, catch it and if anything, get this on another platform. Yeah. Well, you know what I mean? I'm just a YouTuber.
On
the back, I walked past here just now, and you see the thing is, right? I didn't realise these guys do what they do when I started banking with them. I've got a dull plan, they ain't making fuck all off me, do you know what I mean? I ain't going to fucking change it because I've just done 2 years on the streets, I've got bigger concerns, do you know what I mean? But the guy who's normally on there, security, he's the nicest fucking bloke you'd ever meet. He
doesn't know law on public photography,
he'd be the one getting all this shit, wouldn't he? He'd be the one having to come out here, and he's done fuck all.
I mean, he should respect my rights to public photography then. I'm just an auditor actually, so I'm just...
just try and be a bit less provocative, and you might be heard a little more.
Well, I'm an auditor, mate, so I'm literally getting the message out there. I'm not there to... I'm not really part of the protest. Actually, I'm just to
try and keep the peace. The press is supposed to keep the peace and not antagonise. Yeah.
Oh, so I was literally filming the sign here, and then I'm getting.
Just try and keep the peace.
And now they said they phoned the police because we're on with the camera.
Well, these two aren't Israel, yeah. That's what I'm trying to say. These guys are doing the right thing, the wrong way.
I'm just a YouTuber. I am, mate. So
normally here we have a really good
relationship with. Security guys.
I'm just a YouTuber, mate. So I know these guys, but.
Do you know the normal security guys here?
Well, that's the thing. I tried to educate this guy. I wasn't trying to film any customers or anything. I was filming from a public street. So.
Oh yeah, but he's got the right to film. But the problem is we don't leaflet very much around here because people feel very vulnerable. Because the older people carrying money going into the bank, people, so that's the reason why we always stay on that side, or like not too close, so we're not putting people under pressure. Because people are often, if you're carrying lots of money, or older people. That's the only point I make.
Morning. That's why I was trying to avoid filming customers or anyone putting in any pins or anything. But there, mate, to be fair.
For a lot of older people, it's their lifeline coming here, getting their money, this and that. That's the only way. They can't necessarily use cards and things like that. So just
that's why anyone who's doing any transactions or anything,
just don't try and do the right thing the right way. Do you know what I mean? Just do the right thing.
If he was there, if he was literally standing there and doing it, no one would business with him.
Oh yeah, but this
is what I try telling you, mate. It's a public space. I'm entitled to film in a public space, and that's exactly why I was avoiding filming customers putting any pins in. I was just filming the signs and everything that you got up and any public information. Really. I wasn't coming in the bank. I wasn't filming customers. I was just filming all the signs and public information you got up. That's all, mate. Apparently, he said he was calling the police, your security guard, but I don't know whether the police have been called or not.
Yeah, we have contacted them. Just it's better to be safe than sorry.
Oh, because I'm on the camera?
I don't know what happened, but they have been contacted.
Right, no worries. I mean, you've been very pleasant with me anyway.
It's just, like that gentleman said, these guys are here all the time. We've got a fairly good relationship.
Yeah. The thing is, you should. Oh, here's the police now. Here we go. So then you're going to learn something today, my friend.
No, you're going to learn something today.
No,
you
I'm
can't
not.
do it with private property, mate.
Yeah,
And you're literally causing customers to come out and be unsettled, literally getting them upset. You can't be doing that, mate.
Well, I wasn't even filming customers. I was filming
Yes,
you.
you
And I was filming
you
the
had
signs.
the camera right on them, mate. You can't say that.
Right on them, no.
You
Right
can't
there,
do that,
mate.
mate. The police are going to tell you. I don't have to tell you.
That's why it wasn't
I've done this
pointed
so
there
many
where the
times.
cash machines
I've done
were.
this so many
It wasn't
times.
pointing to customers with appointments over there, was it?
You got no right to do so, mate. You can't do that.
So you're going to get a free education today, my friend. How you doing, mate?
Okay.
Very well. Was.
Just to confirm, can you literally film into the branch? Stand here and film customers going in and out?
I don't believe so.
No.
Yeah, you can film in a public street.
Not private property.
You should know this, being part of the police.
I'm so there's officers on the way, they'll know better. But so was it yourself going in the branch?
Oh no, I didn't actually go in the branch. I was stood out in the public street. Yeah.
Okay.
So I was filming some of the signs they got on the walls here and things like that.
Well, that should be okay.
Yeah.
But I mean, inside the branch.
Oh no, I
people
didn't actually
going
go
in
inside the branch.
No, filming inside. I'm not sure.
As long as you're stood in a public street, you should, I mean, as being a member of Gwent Police, you should really know it.
There's
but-
officers on the way.
Okay, no worries.
They're going to tell you, without a doubt, they're going to say you can't do it in a private property.
Gwent Police obviously know who I am,
It's
so
open, it's
you know
fine.
they know my channel. This guy a PCS, so anyway.
He was doing something wrong when he wasn't, and they were then coming out and assaulting him. In fact, he's done
Yeah, not too bad, yeah.
Yeah, I'd say I know these guys because we see them on a regular basis. I've never met you before. We have other officers coming at the moment and just
I
trying to film.
mean, your colleagues just said I'm not allowed to stand in a public space and film inside, which is
No, you are.
Yeah,
It's a public space.
incorrect.
You are allowed to film. Just obviously,
Well, you work for the
part,
police, you
part
should
and
know
parcel,
better,
part and
actually.
parcel of what we've said as well is that you have been potentially obstructing people getting in and out of the bank.
Absolutely not. I was actually trying to avoid
I'm
filming
only going off
customers and
what's
everything.
said. Like, so
wouldn't
what I would say
that.
from
I think there needed to be a bit more.
my advice towards you is that obviously I'm guessing you do this as a living, like trying not to obstruct people getting in that bank because they have right of access.
Oh no, I wasn't stopping any of the customers. I was. It's mainly the security because I was filming the signs over there, and he came out telling me I'm not allowed to do it. So.
Do you mind me asking, sort of like your role? Is it like an independent, like
Yeah, I'm not-
videographer?
yeah,
sort
that's
of
me, yeah.
Stroke, consider yourself as like an auditor, is it? Or
Yeah.
fine. Okay, alright. Then we understand then what your role is and everything. So, yeah, no worries.
So like, these guys know me anyway.
Yeah.
'Cause,
Say I've never met you personally before, but say again, you speaking to me tidy. So
yeah. Well, no need. You've been alright with me, so there's no need for me not to be, is it?
yeah, no. So my colleague passed and then I didn't quite hear it because it was a bit muffled. So I just had to find out what he said to our control room. I say like these have been doing this for months, like maybe over a year now.
I would expect your colleague to have a bit more understanding
Yeah,
about
no, that's
the
fine.
laws around public photography, especially with the memo being circulated around the police. Anyway.
Yeah, say I know. That's what I said. Like that's why I'm one of the issues. Like I just figure out what. I said I don't know what's been passed in my radio because I couldn't hear it because I'm not good at multitasking. So yeah, I'll figure out what's happening.
I know. If you could let the security guard know that I'm lawfully entitled to do it, then. Well, hopefully Barclays at least learned something today, anyway.
They are hiring security guards. Which is a cost. I'm sure they don't pay them as much as
He used to do the same thing in Kingsway. I'm sure Kingsway doesn't do that, you know. 33 years in the trade and he's ended up somewhere like this.
As long as he's getting enough money to keep
Picket line used to be with our armed forces.
So say that. But they won't make change unless there's pressure from the country. I've been on demonstrations. Often down the street and immediately.
Have you been to the big ones in London? Have you been to the national demonstrations in London then?
Not all, lots of them.
Jeremy Corbyn's been at those as well.
Been at every one, I think.
Yeah, pretty much.
He's the only one who's been on the right side of everything wrong we've fucking done in the last 40 years.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah,
Cheers.
take it
Good to
easy,
see
mate.
you.
Have a good one. Pleasure speaking to you. But no, he's very well spoken, Jeremy Corbyn. I was listening to him when he was up there down in London.
Yeah, he speaks at the rallies at the end of the marches, along with Hassan Salman and various members of the Jewish bloc. Nat Ahmad.
Unfortunately, he was ousted from the Labour Party, wasn't he? So.
Yes, yeah. Combination of the Jewish lobby and right-wing Labour MPs.
Well, it's mainly because because of his opinions.
What did they say to you?
Oh, the one PCSO, but he said it's.
You can't film that, and then
The other one said I'm absolutely
yeah,
entitled to do it.
They don't really know the law themselves, half of it. Yeah.
I was quite shocked to hear a member of the constabulary coming out saying.
Yeah, but it was, do you know those guys? The guy that came out and hit you, and the other one. Was escalated by them because they facilitated that. So the disturbance was caused by the security guards by wrongly telling them that you were trying to film in a place where you weren't supposed to, that you'd done something wrong when you hadn't.
No, they do. They say, "Oh, he's filming inside," so they automatically assume that I'm inside the property.
Yeah.
No, they did that when I was filming Network Rail the other week. So.
Give you an update on what I've discussed. I'm kind of getting similar stories to what you said, but I've advised him, public place, you are entitled to film.
Fantastic, yeah.
I've advised, look, in terms of what their job is, if you are to obstruct people in their duties, then yeah, you probably know. You're then looking, depending on what happens, it could be things on like aggravated trespass and stuff like that, which I'm guessing
Well, aggravated trespass, you have to be on the property.
I know, but if you're going in and then causing obviously issues in there, that's what you'd be looking at.
No, if I was inside stopping people from carrying out their
what I've advised
lawful
them is
business,
like, look, he's going to be here, he's going to film, he does this regularly. I've just advised them that look, just don't, you can do it. End of. If they're here to represent the bank, so I said, look, you're here to represent the bank customers. Then they ignore you, so let him carry on with what he's going to do.
Yeah, fantastic.
And your job is the customers, so look after your customers. That's what I said. So.
I think the escalation was caused by them giving the wrong briefing.
Yeah.
But I think you need to be cautious.
No, I have explained to him.
That's exactly what
I have explained to him. I haven't seen you forgot oneself, but I explained that.
Yeah, that's why I was putting it away from
we had the normal auditor sort of conversation about drones, blah 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 blah. And I said again, public place, there are rules and stuff, but if again you take it off from a public place, as long as you abide by the laws that are out there, he's entitled to do so. So they know where they stand now. I've said to him, are any issues, give us a call, come back. We are in the area anyway, we've just been tasked with something else for the time being. Again,
they've been trying to tell us as well, the space under the canopy is part of the bank, and it's not.
So to my knowledge, through speaking with the council along similar matters in the past, obviously this is all public land. They say generally
they try to claim the same on the steps. But the steps is
we know we spoke that in the past. Like again, steps is it's like in that iffy area. As long as there's access allowed, you're all right.
Section 33.
They've applied to build that on public land.
My understanding was speaking with the council about obviously this being a public domain. The general fund is they have like approximately a metre coming out from the property, which they deem that to be like what they can. So if you then have people that want to like canvass or collect money for charity, they have to ask Barclays permission to do it outside Barclays store. But then if they want to do it in the middle of the street, then that's cancelled.
To be fair, protesters could protest for there.
Yeah, they could.
There's nothing stopping
it's again, as you know, as long as everyone can carry on with their lives as normal, we don't have any issues, as long as there's no other further offences being committed. But yeah, I say like same applies to you. Advice given: if you carry on and you have any further issues, as you know, and you need our assistance, give us a call and we'll pop back. We're just going to be carrying on our patrols.
Okay, thank you.
Cheers. See you again.
Take it easy.
Yeah, see you again.
No, if you see a lot of them in Cardiff, they'll protest right outside the branch there.
They do, but we don't think it's a good idea, because the problem is, you know, people suddenly going with money into a van, you know, it's not, you know, or if somebody was filming you using a cash machine, what are you going to think? Or, you know, somebody you know, so, you know, we leaflet people as they leave the bank often, or catch people as they're going, and speak to them around this area.
I mean, their argument is to deter customers so Barclays are losing money, so they stop investing in companies that are supporting Israel is the argument they've got. But no, it's just
do you actually know what the term genocide means?
What, because our Barclays are shut?
Define it.
Well, I know. You tell me.
No, it's not sure.
You tell me without. I wrote it down before I came out because I thought something might ask me. According to the Convention Against Genocide, Article 1.1, genocide means any of the following acts committed with intent to destroy, in whole or in part, a national, ethnical, racial, or religious group as such, by 1, killing members of the group, or 2, causing serious bodily or mental harm, or 3, deliberately inflicting on the group conditions of life calculated to bring about its physical destruction in whole or in part, 4, imposing measures intended to prevent births within the group, or 5, forcibly transferring children of the group to another group.
So, right, okay. I suppose we'd agree that in Europe post-Holocaust, the single biggest act of genocide was Srebrenica in 1995 when 5,000 Muslim boys and men were shot.
Yeah, 5 or 8.
Yeah. I've taught about that in RS. So therefore we agree that the October 7th attacks by Hamas were genocide.
I think it would probably fit within the terms of what I read out to you.
I actually haven't think that Netanyahu is probably a war criminal. I do. Yeah, but I don't think, and this is where I would beg to differ, and I think this is the problem. I think that what Israel is doing in Gaza is probably a war crime, but I don't think it's genocidal because they're not specifically targeting any. I've got friends who are Palestinian Christians and they're women, and they will be targeted equally alongside anybody else who happens to be in Gaza, whereas the Hamas attack targeted Jews specifically. And I think that you're not going to get any traction until that's the message that you convey, because it's not genocide. There are different types of war crime. Genocide is one. I've stood in the gas chambers at Auschwitz with a survivor. My son, because of his disabilities, would have been part of the T4 programs before even that started. So and I taught RS. It's quite close. It's something close to my heart, and it irks me a little bit when I see the term genocide being bandied around, because you're not going to get that hit. It's not going to work because Netanyahu's far too smart. It's not genocide. It's war crimes. It's wanton violence. I give you that. But it's not genocide.
Yeah, I mean, I really disagree. I mean,
well, maybe.
A lot of people have a group of individuals. Francesco Albanese, the UN Special Rapporteur, the UN Special Rapporteur for Housing. If you start to look at some of the things that, in terms of every, hospital,
I regularly march with the Jewish bloc in London as part of the national demonstration.
I'm not suggesting anything. What I'm suggesting is that I think a lot of the criticisms and a lot of the observations are misdirected, and when you do that, you let scumbags like Netanyahu off the hook. That's all I'm saying.
It comes down to a matter of interpretation. It comes down to how you interpret it.
Yeah, and if he ever does get to The Hague, I wish Tony Blair were there with him, but that's a different point.
Yeah.
I do.
But
I largely sympathise. I can't empathise because I don't know what those people are going through, so I can't. None of us can really empathise. It's an overused word, but I do sympathise, and I sympathise with both sides. What I would say is that Hamas knew what they were doing because they wanted to knock the Abraham Accords out of the water. And what I'd like to see is I would like to see Hamas equally. And basically, this ain't going to be stopped. The lunatics are in charge of the asylum on both sides until you get rid of the lunatics from Hamas and in the Israel, in the Knesset. Nothing is going to be solved. I admire what you're doing, but we're not going to solve anything until the moderates sit down around a table and say we will
Most of the moderates in the Palestinian side are in detention and have been locked up, and we've had the 25 years of the peace process. I think this two-side thing is great. Let's sort of sit on the fence, but I think
it's not sitting on
the colonisation of Palestine it's been 100 years, so it's not something
again, you've got to be careful. Of the three religions, the Jews are the oldest, and the Jews have been there. And I don't like these arguments because you root it in history and you start claiming prior claim, and if you root in prior claim, the Jews have got it before the Muslims and Christians because they're the oldest religion. They are the oldest religion. You can't fight the history, then the numbers by hundreds of years. You can't fight that. And even if you read somebody as, I quite like Simon Sebag Montefiore. I think he's quite neutral. He tried. I know he's a British Jew, but he would say that one of his descendants, Moses Montefiore, I think, bought land legally for settling when it was still the Ottoman Empire in about 1860. You cannot. The Jews have a right to be in that region. Everybody there has a right to be there.
Yeah, possibly is one democratic state where everybody is equal, potentially.
Yeah, that would be
but
nice.
that would be a great idea. But
nice?
Whether that's achievable and how you get there.
Yeah, gents, listen, I'm not actually.
It'd be a difficult one, wouldn't it?
Would you
Sorry?
It'd be very difficult to establish a state where everyone's equal. And
I think I probably would disagree with the apartheid definition, even because Israeli Arabs have more rights than lots of Arabs in other countries to be in their own countries, so I probably would. Even though their rights aren't as good as Israeli Jews, perhaps that's that's a different argument. But within Israel, they have constitutional
What about
rights.
the Palestinian refugees that are sitting in Lebanon that can't go back to their homelands?
I'm not. That's not.
Egypt as well.
Egypt, but what are the Egyptians doing? The Egyptians don't really want them there, do they? I mean, this nonsense about Arab unity, don't give me that. Don't give me this nonsense about Arab unity.
You're certainly well informed, but I think we...
Sorry?
We would.
Well, it's just, we all know it's nonsense, don't we? It's absolute nonsense. And the worst thing is I've worked with Palestinian... I used to work for the International Baccalaureate, and I've worked with Palestinian women who are some of the smartest historians I've worked with, walk around Amman with them, totally no hassle, no nonsense, 2 Christian, 1 Muslim, and they'll say we're bottom of the pile. We know we are. Palestinian Christian woman, I'm bottom of the pile in this part of the world, and that's what they'll say. And that was in Dubai, not in Israel, because I met them originally in Dubai on a workshop. So they're saying that in an Arab nation, they're saying I'm bottom of the pile. So it's not just the Israelis that are the problem with Palestine. It's everybody in the region. It's everybody in the region, and until everybody in the region starts singing.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure. Yeah, I mean,
it is.
The Palestinians in Lebanon don't necessarily have the same rights and things like that, but they're not necessarily being mass incarcerated. And
there is no doubt, as I said, that Benjamin Netanyahu is an utter reprehensible scumbag of an individual. He probably makes Donald Trump look like Mother Teresa. Well, maybe not, but you know what I mean. But until the reasoned heads start appearing, I'd love to see those illegal settlements be not taken down but moved in by Palestinians, almost in a reverse kind of thing. That would reclaiming some of that land. Yeah.
What do you think of the settler colonial?
Well, that to me is colonialism. When the land was right when Moses Montefiore bought land legally in 1860 with title and deeds, that's not colonialism. That's just a legal exchange of property for a fair price. It's like buying a house, as is my understanding. Israel has a right to exist, so does Palestine. I mean, it's easy to say it, but to get there is a very different.
I mean, the settler colonial analysis really pulls the right. You know, I mean.
I think you got to remember that Israelis.
A state that excludes other people doesn't give equal rights to them. I mean, when you talk about the end of Israel, it's often
but then,
the conclusion is this: we're going to be annihilated.
But then you've got that in Egypt with Coptic Christians. You've got that in Iran. You've got this. I mean, this is how lucky we are in this country. If you're a British Muslim, or if you're a British Hindu, you can become Prime Minister. Ain't going to happen if you're a Coptic Christian in Egypt, or if you're an Arab Israeli. So I don't actually see much of a difference in that respect. The only difference I do see is an Arab Israeli with an Israeli passport gets a vote, an Egyptian don't, because he or she lives in a totalitarian state. This is intricate. It's really messy. It's really intricate. Picking on just one country in the region when the whole solution requires a regional solution with better governance in even places like relatively sane Jordan is the issue. It's not one thing that you pick out, and that's the thing I sometimes find uncomfortable. Having taught all of these religions, but having been in the gas chambers at Auschwitz, when I see Israel specifically being mentioned, when you think about what Iranians get up to, it's uncomfortable. And I can't
deny the industrial scale of
absolutely.
Not seen since the Second World War.
I'm not denying.
That's not to justify what.
I'm not. It doesn't justify it. I mean, not seen since the Second World War. I think Cambodians. My closest friend in school was son of Cambodian refugees, engineers. What did he? I mean, even by the standards, Pol Pot murdered more of his own people as a proportion of the population than any other. I mean, the Great Leap Forward. I mean, I think since the Second World War there are many more examples.
I mean, it's not a competition.
But the point is that when you mention that, it's almost reductive, because then you are downgrading the status of those 50,000 Gazans who have died in complete innocence. Whoever's responsible for their death, mainly the Israelis. Hamas have to hold up their hands to be responsible for some, because they're individuals. They're like that little girl in your colleagues. Anyway, gents, nice talking to you.
Thank you.
Yeah, pleasure.
Bye.
Quite a lot to take on there, really.
Yeah, we have a lot of. We do this. This is like our 35th one now, so we get a lot of conversations.
I mean, this who's to say that Hamas haven't done bad things as well? So
we've never said that. But human rights are universal. So and international humanitarian law should apply to everybody equally.
Killing Israeli civilians is a war crime.
Absolutely.
But killing Israeli soldiers,
no, that's war.
Occupation.
War's war. If the soldiers fighting against soldiers, that's war.
Say that again.
If you've got soldiers, part of a government fighting against soldiers, then that's what a war is. So
it's complex and in Israel because it's largely a reserve army. So it's not like the UK where it's just 70,000 fully trained Air Force. So
if they're serving part of a militia in a sense and they're fighting against IDF soldiers, then that would be
largely reservists fighting in Lebanon and Gaza at the moment. It's a very small proportion of the Israeli occupying forces are professional military. The ones at the top aren't.
Well, they would be.
There's a wonderful book by an Israeli Jew called Miko, M-I-K-O, Peled, P-E-L-E-D.
Miko Peled.
And the book is called The General's Son. Well worth a read. His father was one of the generals that won the war in 48. And his birth name wasn't Peled, but it was changed to pellet because it means steel or iron, and he was a symbol of strength.
Right, strength, yeah.
And Miko, you know, as all Israelis at the age of 18 or 19 went into the military. He was a paratrooper, wore a red beret, learned karate. He's a 6th black dan at karate. And, he was part of the occupation, and he didn't like what he saw. And in fact, his father left the military in 67, 68, because Israel occupied the West Bank. And his father said, occupation's a terrible idea because there'll never be peace, they'll always hate us. And so his son Miko, during the Second Intifada, so we're talking in the 80s, 90s, his cousin, female cousin, 13 years old, was murdered by a suicide bomb in a cafe. Tel Aviv, possibly, I'm not sure. And rather than go out and wish to kill people, he said to his family he was going to go into the occupied territories and speak to people. And cheers. And his family said, they'll kill you, they hate us, they'll kill you. And of course, he was shown immense hospitality, so on and so forth, and then he started campaigning for Palestine and Palestinians. And you know, eventually he had to leave. He lives in the US, but he still campaigns. He organised a medical charity to send stuff to Palestine, collected 1,000 wheelchairs, and then the Israelis wouldn't let them in, of course, into Gaza. So it's a cracking book. It's well written, very personal, gives the family history, tells you then about the events of 48, 67, 73. It's fascinating.
We'll have to have a read.
And by an Israeli Jew. Then a lot of very good books have been written by Israeli Jews about the region.
They've seen it firsthand, and not a lot of them don't all agree with what's happening. So
no, there's a minority, particularly some, not all, of the Orthodox Torah Jews don't accept Israel as a Jewish state. They see it as anti-Jewish, both there and quite a few of them in New York, for example, in Brooklyn particularly.
Yeah, there's a large Jewish community there. There's all sorts of communities in New York. But what about the settlements in Israel have forcibly placed in the West Bank? I mean, people live there now. There's been generations of families there. How'd you go about?
Yes, I mean, some of the settlements are much newer or older than others. Personally, I think there has to be one state with equality for people of all ethnic and religious groups. And there are Jews campaigning for that. There's a very good book written by a professor, Jeff Halper, J-E-F-H-A-L-P-E-R, Israeli Jew, and it's called Decolonizing Israel. And then there's a second line, something about creating a single state. Again, a fascinating book, and he goes through a process that could be adopted to do it. Take time, obviously. So there are Jewish people who are campaigning for that, but they're a very tiny minority. So that's what I would favour, but it's not for me to decide how Palestine should deal with the matter. That's for Palestinians to decide.
Absolutely. I mean, I suppose if the Palestinians did want to move back forcibly into those settlements, and the people are already living there.
It's not going to happen, is it? Because in the last year, I can't remember whether it's Smotrich or Gavir in the cabinet. One of them has supplied thousands upon tens of thousands of the settlers with weapons. So there's like a huge ultra-Zionist militia. So it's not feasible that they could be turfed out. There has to be a political solution nationally.
Well, you see it on vlogs if people post of Israel. You see people walking around with assault rifles and things like that.
Yeah, but then they may be reservists because they carry weapons rather than lunatic settlers. But some, the lunatic settlers go into the IOF. So yeah, it's straightforward. But there needs to be honesty, and the USA. I would say that Israel is a proxy for the United States in other ways, helps the United States keep control. It's like having a guard dog, a vicious guard dog. And yeah, our media just accept the idea that the USA is the negotiator, the independent negotiator. No, they're not.
What needs to happen though for peace in that region though, really, between Jews and
there needs
Muslims?
to be an end to fighting and slaughter. There need to be talks, but the USA should have virtually nothing to do with them. Talks need to be, ideally at the UN, but then we need change at the UN. It's ridiculous that the US, Britain, France, Russia and China are permanent members of the Security Council. Why are we? Why are we? Why? We have 70,000 service people in uniform? We have a population of 70 million, roughly? Indonesia's hundreds of millions? Why aren't they on the Security Council? Brazil, 300 million. Why aren't they a permanent member? Why is France?
Financial power, about power and finance, money again?
Maybe historical in the sense that they were, like us, one of the larger colonial imperialist powers. But Spain was as well, of course, back in the day. And the Dutch. Dutch have colonies all around the Southeast Asia.
There's still Dutch territories in the Caribbean?
In the Caribbean, yes. St. Martin.
Yep.
St. Martin.
Curacao, I think Curacao's still part
Curacao,
of it.
Yeah.
Still
Suriname.
Yep. It still belong to the Netherlands.
Not to mention, of course, Indonesia was a Dutch colony, as was South Africa. South Africa for a while. Well, I hope your plan is almost the weekend. Yeah, but it's going to get much warmer over the weekend. Nice.
Yeah, take care now. And that's the point. We've also got 14 territories all over the world.
Yes.
And three crown dependencies. So we've got a bit of global sway in that sense as well.
Yeah, and obviously through the financing, the City of London.
Yeah.
Huge influence around the world. But
banking district, yeah. Square mile.
But as the bricks grow, that might change.
No, because I've been around the City of London quite a bit. It's mostly banks.
Yes, of course.
Bank of America, there's a couple of Israeli banks as well. They're sort of tucked away. No, not signposted. Of course, they don't want people really knowing exactly where they are, unless they're members. They don't want to know where they are. There does seem to be more of a larger element of protection of Israel by our country and by the US.
Absolutely, and a ridiculous amount of protection from Germany. Cynics would say the Germans are quite keen on being involved in genocide. They committed 2 in Namibia in the early part of the last century. Then the Shoah.
Germany's now.
And now
they're now probably probably at least the most powerful nation in Europe, really. Germany.
Yeah, but going down the tubes without the cheap gas from Russia costs a lot to import LNG from the States. Huge amount.
Still seems to maintain control over the whole of the European Union, really.
Well, I suppose
sense.
them in France.
Yeah, and French as well. I say a lot of the northern European countries have a lot more say than a lot of the southern European countries in that sense.
I don't know how much say Sweden, Finland,
Scandinavia.
Norway in the EU. Don't know. I mean, Norway doesn't follow the same policy on Palestine as Germany and France, for example.
Well, Spain supports
Spain is recognised. Spain is recognised.
The Irish government's recognised Palestine as a country.
Sorry?
The Irish government's recognised Palestine as a country.
Spain, Norway, and Ireland, I think, are the three in the EU that have done so far.
So I've actually been down to Dublin. I've seen it. They've changed the signs and everything. It used to say Mission for the State of Palestine. Now it says Embassy of Palestine on the signs. So they've now got an official Palestinian
and of course,
embassy.
The Spanish recognition is one of the reasons why the Maccabi Tel Aviv hooligans whistled and hooted through the minute silence for the victims of the Valencia flood at the Amsterdam Arena a couple of weeks ago.
It's quite sad, really.
Yeah, but you know they are very unpleasant, mainly young men.
I plan on going over there to film myself in the Netherlands as well. So
there's some excellent filming done by a 16-year-old lad, which I've seen on YouTube, where he was following the Maccabi lunatics. They even at one stage told him and his cameraman to stop filming, which they didn't, obviously.
Got a right to.
And they put it online. So at the same time as our media was saying that it was like crystal meth and it's a pogrom, dear me, anti-Semitism everywhere. And this lad filmed it showing now the opposite was the case, basically.
That's why it's good that there's independent cameramen out there to capture things as they happen.
But even though he filmed it and put it online, it was ignored by mainstream media throughout Europe, throughout the United States. They told lies. I mean, Sky TV even broadcast a true account, and within an hour or two took it down and said they'd taken it down and redone it because it didn't meet their standards of broadcasting impartiality. And then they told the exact opposite of what their reporter on the ground had told an hour or two earlier. So they knew they were lying. And they'd used film by a Dutch photojournalist called Anna de Graaf. And they'd actually spent 25 minutes talking to her on the phone. And then they told the story that was the direct opposite of what she told. So it's lying. It's not misinformation or disinformation, it's lies.
This is exactly why you need independent media or people out there to
I agree.
Get to record things as they happen and publish them online. I suppose there's still people who have an agenda doing that.
But then, the BBC will say, we haven't verified it. Marianne Spring, the woman who lied on her CV for the BBC.
Still up there on YouTube. People still see it. It's out there. TikTok, YouTube, social media for people to view. So if they want to see things as they happen, look on YouTube, look on TikTok. Don't look at the mainstream media, really.
No, I gave up watching BBC News 12 months ago. I sometimes have a quick look at the headlines to see. I mean, on the day that the ICC issued the arrest warrants for Netanyahu, Gallant and Mohammed Dave, the lead story was, I think, the death of John Prescott. I mean, I met him once in Newport. I found him rude, arrogant, and boorishly unpleasant. And he did play a role in keeping the left of the Labour Party in the Blair Party. But
he was quite close with Blair anyway.
Yes, and I mean, he was a rare example, particularly these days, of a man from a very working class background.
getting towards the top of politics in this country these days. It simply wouldn't. But that was the lead story.
Does anybody want tea or coffee?
No, because...
Are you sure?
I'm alright.
I'll get you a hot chocolate. Orange, cherry chocolate, orange.
That's alright.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
You want one, yeah?
No, I'm okay, thanks. I appreciate it though.
Yeah. So what was your name?
Sam.
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 Yeah.
Sorry, I'm a little deaf.
That's alright.
I get absolutely freezing. I hate the winter. I've been frozen since I've been here.
Yeah, it's cold this time
I've
of
got
year.
all my heat socks on as well. Special heat socks on.
I'm thinking my nose is running now, so...
And I've actually turned on my radiators in the last couple of days.
Yeah.
Well, one radiator, that's not
You can get these heated jackets. I was looking at getting a heated jacket.
That's what I was just going to mention,
I have very good cold weather clothes.
My mate Rod, who sometimes comes with me, he always wears his heated jacket in the winter.
I don't have a heated jacket.
Oh, it could be worth it.
It's very good.
This is quite thick, and it's still...
My jeans are specially for Scandinavian wear, so they're warm. I've got big, thick socks, and I'm wearing merino wool long sleeve shirt, undershirt underneath a warm, cold weather shirt.
You've got more layers on than me then.
And could have done with wearing a beanie, I think.
Yeah, that's why I got this on. It's still cold with this one. It's heavy.
And my nose is running and my eyes are watering a bit. Apart from that.
Oh, that's what's happening with me. My nose is running. I know I got a phone call to make anyway. It's been a pleasure, and I'll remember what was that book you
The General's Son, Miko Peled.
Miko Peled. I'll have a read of that anyway. You take it easy now. Best of luck. There we go. So yeah, folks. Yeah, we're just sending off here, folks, now. Thanks everybody for watching. Barclays Virtual Police actually turned up to Barclays for a cameraman. So it became more of an audit of Barclays. But thanks everybody for watching. I've got a phone call to make, and I will be back with you next time. TGA out.